is now officially an Adidas school again. After 12 years of being with Nike, Tennessee is officially with Adidas on a 10-year deal that will basically make Tennessee the flagship brand of Adidas. So that begs the question, what are the top 10 moments that Tennessee athletics had while wearing Nike? Find out what our list is here next on the Fanatics Show. Top 10 moments of Tennessee wearing Nike. And Skylar, if you don't mind, I
Yeah.
will first because I have a 10A, 10B. I could not decide.
Okay.
I wanted to go with that last spot. So I've got
No, that
two over here
that's
at 14.
that's totally fine. I'll let you take the floor. You go right ahead.
All right. I'm going to start with the 10B. It's Grant Williams scoring 43 points against Vanderbilt in an overtime win. I believe that was back in 2019. Just absolutely took over the second half in the overtime period
Okay.
against Vanderbilt. I believe either they had just come fresh off of a number one ranking or it was right there towards the end of their number one ranking that year because they were number one for probably 4 or 5 straight weeks there in that season, and he just absolutely went off in the second half in overtime. So that is 10B on my list. 10A, it's going to be Tennessee breaking the streak against Florida in 2016. That game where
Oh,
Tennessee actually went down 21-3 to start the game,
yeah.
and then just second half came out of nowhere, highlighted by one of today's plays on the 67 days until it's football time in Tennessee. The Juwan Jennings bobbled catch down the sideline, takes it in for the touchdown to give
Was
Tennessee a lead
insane.
that they would never surrender in that game. So that is my 10A and 10B.
That is an insane pick right there, all the way down at 10. I love that 10A, 10B. I am struggling, Michael. I'm struggling. I'm struggling so bad. Um, I think. Oh, I don't want to do it. I think my 10 is going to be. Um, Boy, I'm struggling. Lock in Tarpley. I'm gonna go ahead because you've already done it. I'm only missing my 10. Literally, I'm just trying to think of that 10th moment, and I've got like 5 in my head, but I can't pull the trigger on one. So I kind of want to see. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you where I put one because you've already said it. Is that fair?
That's fair.
So the duck can pull a truck. If you remember that meme in
Yep.
2016.
Yep.
So that Florida player, I think it was Tabor. I can't remember his last name or first name, but I think his last name was Tabor. He was number 31, talking all the mess. Basically saying a duck can't pull a truck, which means that Florida's definitely just going to go in there and beat Tennessee. Well, that obviously didn't happen. That is my top 5 moment. That is a 5th moment in my history of Tennessee just finally beating Florida. But I think the way that we did it is why I'm so high on it, is because, dude, we were dead in the water. We were a team with all the
Yes.
hype. We were the team with all the hype going into that game, and we just didn't look ready. I mean, I still felt like at halftime, when you even go back and rewatch the game, you're like, man, we're the better team. We're just literally shooting ourselves in the foot. And then to be able to make those adjustments to come out in the second half and play the way we did, completely dominant, by the way. Like, I mean, just Florida had no life. And we just never stopped. I mean, we took the lead, I think, early in the fourth quarter with the Juwan Jennings catch on the
Yes. That,
sideline.
that was right at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Right. And then it's like we didn't stop. We hit not North. Who was number 3 at the time? Oh God. Peyton, not Peyton. I can't remember his name, and this is bothering me. He was like our guaranteed like big time touchdown a game type person. But we hit him on a
Give me just a
crossing like
second.
slant route. I mean, it just never stopped. I mean, Jalen Hurd went in. It was kind of crazy the way that game unfolded, and so that is why it is my top 5, my 5th moment out of my top 10. And then I'm gonna keep thinking on my 10th moment. I'm so sorry.
All right. So you have number 9. And Josh Malone is who you're thinking of, by
Josh
the way.
Malone, thank you so much. Yes, but your ninth moment, and you're probably just going to pick another one, and that's okay. But go ahead.
All right, so number 9, I'm actually going to the hardwood on this one, going on the women's side of things, and it's actually on our new intro video. Tennessee knocking off UConn for the first time since 2007. It was a moment for Kim Caldwell last year that's like, okay, we got this program going on the right track. Unfortunately, it did take a step back this year. It actually got blown out by UConn, but everything is still in front of Tennessee. I'm very optimistic about this program, about the changes that were made and things like that. But that is my number 9 moment, is when you welcomed UConn into your house and you took care of business and ended up beating them for the first time since 2007. That is my number 9 moment.
So that is also my number 9 moment.
I thought we were going to have the same list towards the top, and here we are with the same.
That is genuinely my number 9 moment, because that was like so unexpected. And then to beat them at home, like that was so cool. My number 10, I finally pulled the trigger on it, and I'm sorry, I might have went football heavy, but my number 10th moment was in 2022, being ranked number 1 in the initial playoff rankings has got to be my 10th moment in the Nike uniform. I thought that was the coolest thing. I am going to say that was deserved. We beat Bama. We had just beaten the absolute brakes out of Kentucky in the Dartmouth game. Like, we looked apart. And so, I mean, yes, you needed to go beat Georgia. That was unfortunate. But in that moment, in that time, in the whole resume talk, I do feel like Tennessee deserved to be that number 1 top team. And with all the ESPN hates Tennessee stuff, that was a real big surprise to actually have that number 1 next star team there.
The unfortunate thing about the timing of that was we played Georgia the next week, and that just gave them all the fuel that Georgia needed to go out there and beat the brakes off of us in that next game.
Did. I mean, they only beat us by 14. Did.
That game was a lot worse than the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Shut up. It's because we called Stetson Bennett's phone over and over again.
Yeah.
So, but no.
All right. My number 8. I've got Dalton Knecht taking over the game against Auburn back in 2023.
That's a good one.
He outscored the entire Auburn team in the final 11 and a half minutes of that ball game. He had 39 points in that contest. He never could get 40. But, buddy, let me tell you, he could score 39. I think he did that like 3 or 4 times.
He could score 30 plus all day long.
Yes, but he never could hit 40. But no, he took over that game. And, for the longest time on our intro video, 2 of the clips on there were him in back-to-back possessions, knocking down a deep 3 over Auburn defender, and then taking Janai Broome to the basket and just slamming one right down the middle. So that is my number 8 moment for Tennessee wearing Nike.
So your soothing sound actually came in first. Said your thoughts on the Tennessee football game September 26, 2015. What
I'm going to say that's probably the Florida game in 2015.
I thought it was 2016. Okay, that's my fault. Okay, bet. Then yes, we've already talked about that. I thought that was 2016.
Well, that one is actually, I think that September 26, 2015, that's probably the one that we should have won, and they won on like a Hail Mary. Let me see. September 26, 2015.
That sounds about right. Hey, guys, just got back from a bike ride. What did I miss? Well, I'm glad you got back safe from that bike ride, big dog, and we're basically just going through the top 10 moments in the Nike uniforms in e-sport.
Yeah, so that was the game that Florida did win 28-27.
Why are we talking about that? Come on now. Got to be a Florida fan. Get out of here. All right.
So let me say this briefly about that game. Game started off fantastic. That was the play with Jawan Jennings.
The reverse. Yes,
the double pass to Josh Dobbs down the sideline. Game started off fantastic. And then it went downhill from there. But that's all I have to say about that
one. My number 8 moment. The battle at Bristol against Virginia Tech.
Man, believe it or not, I'm going to go ahead and ruin this. That did not make my list because I forgot we were wearing Nike during that time.
Did you really? Well, so I went to that game. That was actually my very first game. I think I went and watched Tennessee, and it wasn't in an NFL stadium because usually, like, we go to see the Music City Bowl or something like that, and But that was the first time I went and seen Tennessee. And again, the way that game started, I was like, oh boy, this is kind of nerve-wracking. But then Virginia Tech proceeded to fumble the ball 8 times, and it was amazing. It was a great comeback, and we beat the brakes off of them. So, no, that game was insane. The pregame, I don't the showmanship behind the fans and then the teams. It was just spectacular, and the improvements that Bristol made to their arena for that game was insane. The jumbotron, they literally hung it up for that game, and then now they use it obviously for every race and whatnot. But no, the Battle at Bristol was insane. That was an awesome time and a great experience.
Yeah, I definitely should have put that somewhere on my list, but I feel like I've got some good ones on.
I mean, we broke
too,
the attendance record, man. Come on.
We did. Number 7. Heading to the softball diamond.
Let's go.
Emma Clark walk-off home run against Texas Tech in this year's Women's College World Series.
We were so close, bro. So, when you said 7 and then softball diamond, I kid you not, my 7 is the softball diamond. But I'm just going to go overall. Carlin Pickens throwing at 78.6 miles per hour to break the all-time record.
Yep.
And she may have even thrown it like 79 at one point. I don't know.
She did 79.4 against Jordy Fromm in that Super Regional last year.
So 79 miles an hour. I mean, I wanted to put 80 so bad, but I know she actually didn't hit 80. But just overall, like that pitch alone, just the record books, the fact that she threw it for a strike, I mean, just everything about it, man, that's going to be talked about forever in the game of softball. So that is absolutely my number 7 moment.
Number 6. I'm taking it back just a couple of years now. Drew Gilbert walk-off grand slam against Wright State in the 2021 regionals.
I don't like you, big dog.
Is that also your number 6?
No. But I have to say it now.
I mean that's without a doubt a top moment. I mean, just you want to talk about a crowd pop when he hit that ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that crowd went nuts.
That was my number. It's my number 4 moment, without a doubt. I mean, that is another one of those plays that in every single highlight reel, that one is there. Like, it's not even a doubt. So that is my number 4 moment. My number 6 moment, I think you actually have already mentioned it. It's the Meshack buzzer beater against Bama. That is my number 6 moment.
I haven't mentioned it yet,
you
but
haven't?
that one's coming up on mine.
Oh, come on, big dog. Yeah, I thought you mentioned it. I thought that was like your 10B or 10A or something like that. I'm so sorry.
No, that one was Grant Williams.
That's right. Yeah, so the Meshack buzzer beater against Bama. I remember I was actually at a golf club. We had just finished up a round, and we were eating lunch. Or like a late dinner. I can't remember what time it was, but like it was still daylight outside. We're all watching this game, and I think at one moment we thought we were going to win, and then at one moment we thought we were cooked. And then Meshack hits it because we were tied, right? There was no like real stress on the shot, but when he made it, I've never seen I'm gonna call it a bar pop. Dude, I mean, nobody cared about the rules or ethnics of a country club at that moment. Like, everybody went buck wild crazy. I swear to God, it looked like Ole Miss outfield. I mean, beer just went like everywhere. And I mean, and it was like accepted. Like, it was so like I just remember that moment so vaguely. Like, I will cherish that moment forever. It's beating Bama, of course. Everything behind it. But then it's just the person that made the shot. Couldn't have been a better person. And honestly, I'll be the first to say, did not expect him to make that shot. So it was just really cool all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My number 5, sticking with the baseball diamond.
Let's go.
Tennessee walking off Florida State in the opening round of the Men's College World Series in 24.
That comeback was insane.
Yes. I mean, talk about Tennessee being dead in the water. Down 7-2 at one point in the game. It was 11-8 going into the bottom of the 9th inning. And what a series of events. I mean, Kavares Tears starting things off with the triple over the center fielder's head. Dean Curley with a sac fly that both of those hits, Kavares Tears and Dean Curley's, if we'd been playing at any stadium besides Charles Schwab in Omaha, would have been a home run. Either way, sac fly, 11-9 at that point. And then getting things started again. Cannon Peebles with a walk. Cal Stark did pop out to the catcher, and that's where we're like, all right, things are looking bleak now. It's 2 outs, but we got Christian Moore at the plate.
The Semo?
Yeah, Semo with the double down the left field line. Blake Burke. Did he swing? Did he not? Doesn't matter. He singled up the middle to tie the game. Then you had Oh, I'm blanking on his
Dylan
name.
Dreiling, bro. Come on now.
I'm talking about the one between them. Oh man, it's gonna bother me. He's the one that had the stroke walk up song, the clapping.
Oh.
What's his name?
Oh, I can look at his face right now.
Yes, I know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm blanking on his name. Chat, somebody please help.
No. Bomb. He had a nickname. Billy Bombs. Billy Amick.
Billy Amick.
Thank you.
Billy Amick. Yes.
I was like Billy Bombs. Like I kept.
Yes.
Yeah, Billy Amick.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had the single to left field that brought up Dylan Dreiling and hits the walk off in the gap.
Yeah.
To win the game. Just what a comeback
Double D
in the ninth inning, and Dylan Dreiling going on. Yeah, Dylan Dreiling goes on to be the MVP of the Men's College World Series.
Deserved. That dude was like an automatic double at the plate. I mean, it was insane. And then he hit like
3 straight games.
Yeah,
all
home run
three,
in each game.
All 3 games of the championship series hit a home run, every single one of them in the 7th inning.
That's crazy work. That is crazy. I mean, dude was just automatic. That's a really good pick, man. So my 5, I mentioned Duck can pull a truck. That's literally what I wrote. That was just an all-time moment. Number 4, I've already mentioned Drew Gilbert, the walk-off. So I'm actually going to go to my number 3, and then I'll let you come back up or catch back up.
That's fine.
Number 3 is the Dobb nail boot against Georgia. That play, we shouldn't have even been in that situation. And I never really would have thought that would have been our only win against Kirby to this point. But the way it happened, again, just you thought you won. Then the true freshman who you thought was going to be a phenom in Jacob Eason for Georgia. And might I add that it was, head coach for Georgia. Kirby Smart's first season, right? He throws a Hail Mary, gets the touchdown, and we're like dead in the water. But what did they do that was wrong, Michael? They kicked it off to our returner, Evan Berry.
Well, no, that's the one where on that touchdown, they ended up getting the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Right. So they had to squib it. That's what I'm saying. But, like, they had to put it in play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then Berry then returns it because that dude's electric. You don't kick to that man. He gets you to midfield all within like 14 seconds. He gave us like 6 seconds for the Hail Mary, I think is what happened. And then we all know what happened in that next play. I mean, just a crazy turn of events and how that all worked out. The Dobb nail boot is my number 3 moment in the Nike era.
Yeah, so my number 4 is where I had the Jemai Meshack buzzer beater.
I knew you'd be higher on that, basketball boy.
Yeah, and you mentioned where you were. I remember where I was as well. So I was actually at my wife's grandparents' house. I was holding my son at the time in a chair, and I had done perfect the entire game as far as staying calm, holding him and everything, because he was little.
Little.
So I'm holding him, staying perfectly calm, and then that happens, and I go nuts. And the first thing my wife asked me is, "You held on to him the whole time, right? You didn't drop him." I said, "No, we're good."
I think. Start checking your pockets like,
Yes, no, I remember exactly where I was on that one. And then my number 3, I actually had the Dobbs nail boot at that spot too.
I know what our first 2 are going to be.
So, funny story about that one.
Yeah.
I was coming back from a birthday party that night, listening to the game when it's going on. I pull up to my house right as the Hail Mary. I pull up to my house right after Georgia scores a touchdown.
And so
I actually cut the game on the radio off as I'm pulling in my driveway.
Yeah.
As I walk in the house, the game is on. And Tennessee is celebrating on the field. I missed the Hail Mary and had to go back and watch it again.
No shot.
Yes.
I remember exactly where I was at, man. I was actually at the Lawrence County. This is the very first motocross race I ever did. It was a Lawrence County fair. And very first time racing a dirt bike in my life. And I remember there was a first responder. I think it was a police officer actually was watching. We were like at the camper in the pits area. And Georgia had thrown the Hail Mary to go up ahead. And he walked off. He was like, yeah, because he's a Georgia fan. And he was like, yeah, we got you again. And, he kind of walked off all smirky and whatnot. And then we did that, and I walked straight up to that police officer at the ripe age of 15, and I was like, hey, buddy. I said, yeah, we got him this time. Felt so good, bro. Felt so good. But no, that's an awesome moment. All right, we know what the top two are. It's just what order did we put them in? And at my number 2, I do have the baseball national championship at number 2, and I'm even gonna put in there the Christian Moore cycle as well as the number 2, kind of like along with that, just because that was that run. I'm also even gonna say sub that the Hunter Inslee catch in the outfield. Just everything that went into that team winning the national championship just was insane. So, national title in baseball is my number 2.
I guess the good thing is they could say that we didn't have the same list because I put the Tennessee beating Alabama
52-49.
52-49. That's my number 2.
No shot. There's no shot in your mama's life. There is
listen.
no shot. That's not the top moment. There's no shot.
How can you not put a national title at number 1?
Because it's baseball, dude. We beat
It's still
Bama.
a national title.
16 years. And also, I rushed the field after that. There's no shot.
I wish I would have been there.
Smoking
but
a cigar, dude. There's no shot, dude.
But no, look, in all seriousness, these two moments right here, they're literally 1A, 1B. There's not number 1, number 2. But no, I had the Tennessee beating Alabama 52-49 at my number 2. And it does feel wrong to say that it's number 2 because it probably should be number 1. But once again, I remember exactly where I was. I was getting off of work. I actually had to charge my phone twice that day from listening to that game. And
I mean, it was a long game, dude. They're scoring every freaking 2 or 3 minutes.
It was a super long game, but yes, I had to charge my phone twice that day. And then as I'm on my way home, that's whenever I listened to the kick going through the uprights, and I immediately just start screaming out my window as I'm going home. My mom calls me as soon as the game ends, and I answered the phone just yelling as loud as I can. She said, "Okay, you watched it." I said, "I sure did." So then my sister calls me. Same deal. I'm just yelling on the phone the whole time, but it was just insane how that happened. But then, yeah, number 1, Tennessee baseball winning the national title. I mean, just everything that went on, especially in that game 3, was unbelievable. I mean, the effort that Xander Sechrist put out on the mound in that game, we honestly did not have a true number 3 pitcher, what it felt like for most of the season, because I believe Blade Tidwell was hurt, and or maybe Blade Tidwell was a year before, but anyway, we had a number 3 pitcher that was hurt, and we kind of had to go through and find exactly who we wanted there. And Xander Sechrist came out of nowhere in the middle of the season, ended up being our best pitcher overall.
Literally in the middle of the season, just turned it up, man. I mean, the final 2 or 3 SEC series, and then into because we swept the tournament, I believe too, the SEC tournament. I mean, he just came out of nowhere, and it was the game. It was the Sunday games. It was the championship games, right? And I think it was 5 straight starts that he had was the rubber matches where he had came out and won it.
Yep.
Or elimination game where he came out and won it, because I know sometimes tournament play it's single eliminate. But yeah, I remember them doing that, and it was right before that game in the World Series where they showed the graphic and how his last 5 or 6 starts were pretty much all the marbles on the line, and he's just clutch. And it was insane.
And I remember we had differing opinions on that one. So before the College World Series, when we talked about Xander Sechrist, I was like, look, I feel better if we lose the first game and then we go on to win the next 2, because we had Drew Beam on Saturday and Xander Sechrist on Sunday. And you're like, no. I don't even remember his name now, but it was the guy, the sidearm guy that would come in relief behind AJ Causey.
I was going to say, don't tell me, because that was when we had the 2 starters or whatever.
Yes,
one would pitch for an inning or 2.
You would have, I believe it was Chris Stamos would come in to open, and then AJ Causey would come in to finish things off. He started struggling towards the end of the year. I said, I feel much better about taking a loss that day and relying on Drew Beam and Xander Sechrist. I mean, we had differing opinions, but then when it was all said and done, I mean, what a performance by Xander Sechrist. Then you had the amazing slide by Hunter Inslee at the plate.
And you didn't realize how big that was going to be.
Yeah, at the time, we just thought, that's an insurance run.
That's and not only a 5th run that we went up ahead by, and then you didn't realize that you needed every single run that you got.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like, all right, this is the exclamation mark. And then Texas A&M started to get back into it. But
That's what they do.
and then I got to give you some credit as well for Aaron Combs. I believe it was that Sunday. I said, we pretty much got everybody that we need to available to pitch except for Aaron Combs, because in game 2 he pitched like 3 or 4 innings and went like 80 something pitches. I was like, no way he's pitching. And then all of a sudden he comes in to close it off in game 3 and could not hit his curveball to save his life until that final pitch.
That's right. And he nailed it.
Yes.
So, no, the 52-49, man, I remember when that kick went through the uprights, I was kind of like, did it make it? But then, like, I never really had to question it because people just started pouring onto the field immediately. Like, I don't even think the refs could have a moment to, like, actually say field goal good because they knew they were about to get trampled. So they just took off running. And my family, we were like, are we going down? And we actually waited till the goalpost came down and was actually making its way up the stadium. You could just watch it as they were walking it up the stadium. And then my dad was like, all right, now we can go. So we went down. So when I say we stormed the field, it was definitely not a storm at that point. It was actually kind of sad because it was like all the excitement, the adrenaline was gone. So everybody's now just crying and stuff like that on the field. But no, I remember that. It was awesome. That is a memory that I'll have forever. I've still got some of the turf. Actually, I didn't rip up the turf. Okay, I pitched some grass. That's all I did. I wasn't that lady that like took a hand shovel or something to dug up the whole checkerboard. that was crazy, bro. But no, I mean I have that. I have the cigars that we lit up. Like that's just a memory that I'll have forever. Definitely a top moment in my life, and also because my family's so split. I mean, half my family is Alabama fans, and I think the best moment of that day is when they beat us in any sport. Oh, they tell me about it. I mean, like immediately. And it's almost like that passive aggressive, kind of like a, oh, good game, or, almost had it type thing. But like the silence in the chat and our little family chat after that kick was made, to the point to where they wrote first and was like, we suck. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to not respond to anything. I'm just going to let y'all let this one hurt a little bit. But no, it was.
But hey, since we are talking about, just a friendly reminder that Dixieland Delight's a song about Tennessee.
I think that was the best moment is when you watch because we didn't see this, right? We didn't see the broadcast. We were there in person. So when you seen the highlight of the CBS broadcast where they do the blimp view or the drone view,
yep,
and you can hear Dixieland Delight playing, dude,
that was the best part of it.
Get out of here, bro. That was insane. So yeah, that's got to be the top moment in the Nikes, bro. I'm sorry, but that is the top moment. Everything about it.